Hi guys, welcome to Wheel of Betting. I'm Jim Knight, back for another weekend of team goal tips after a short international break and hoping to boost myself into some decent form. Got two picks this weekend, one from the Premier League and one from the Championship. Going to start at the top with the Saturday 3 o'clock game between West Brom and Everton. I'm going to side with the away side here. The two teams are 17th and 18th, West Brom in 17th and Everton in 18th. But I don't think that tells the true story really about their starts to the season. I personally am not a huge fan of Alan Irvine at West Brom, and I'm surprised it's kind of taken this long for me to oppose them really. I backed them for relegation at the beginning of the season because I didn't think they were going to be able to cope with life in the Premier League under him. I've still yet to see anything to convince me otherwise about that. They have got 2 points on the board, but they've had a fairly easy start to the campaign, I think, compared to a lot of others. And I think over the next few months we could see, that they are really going to struggle, and they could well be in the bottom three come the end of the season. In their last game, they were roundly beaten by Swansea. They, failed to switch on at the Liberty Stadium, and they were one goal down, I think, within 3 minutes. Nathan Dyer doing his thing and scoring a couple there. Everton aren't too dissimilar really in the way that they kind of try and operate under Roberto Martinez, obviously ex-Swansea, trying to continue their philosophy. And Roberto Martinez wants the same from his Everton team, really. He wants possession football. He wants them to be able to break quickly on the counter-attack, and he wants quality from his wide players. Now, I've personally seen Everton a couple of times in the flesh this year, and I've been very impressed despite the results not being brilliant. Obviously, they have scored plenty of goals, which is one of the key things for this bet. So they've covered the total against Everton, against against Leicester, against Arsenal, and against Chelsea when they lost 6-3. Obviously, the defence is still a weak point. I think that's probably going to continue to be the case while their centre-back pairing is Sylvain Distin and Phil Jagielka, but he hasn't moved to improve that. So at the other end, they will need to keep scoring goals if they're going to win games, I think. And I like the look of the wide players like Stephen Pienaar, and I was particularly impressed with Stephen Naismith as well when I saw him at Leicester and again against Chelsea the other week. I personally think they carry as much of an attacking threat as pretty much any team in the league with those players, even without Ross Barkley. He is a big miss for them. Obviously, they're driving runs from midfield, but they have still got plenty of firepower up front. Lukaku, I think, will start to find his feet and score a few goals and begin to pay back that astronomical price tag that they paid to bring him in. Overall, I just think they're going to have too much for West Brom this weekend, and I think that although West Brom could score a few goals themselves, because of the Everton backline not being as strong as it would necessarily need to be, I think, for them to compete at the next level, take it from a European Europa League spot up to a Champions League contention. I think they still might need some reinforcements defensively, but I'd rather play it slightly safer and take the 11-10 on Everton to score 2 or more goals this weekend, as opposed to the 6-5 on the match odds. I still think they've got a good chance of covering that total, to be honest, and I think they'll come back off the international break and hopefully get as a winner on the board. The second game comes from the Championship, and it involves Blackpool again. We opposed Blackpool successfully earlier on in the season. I think it was when they played Blackburn, and they lost 2-0 at Bloomfield Road. They are back at Bloomfield Road this weekend. They are still on 0 points after 5 games, and in 4 of those matches they've conceded 2 goals. Now, they're not getting absolutely walloped, so they're not getting thumped by teams 4 and 5-0, but teams are beating them regularly, obviously, and there's more kind of backroom issues. I read this week that Jose Riga and Carl Oyston aren't seeing eye to eye. I think Carl Oyston was rumoured to be talking to some other managers while Jose Riga was still in charge, and obviously they tried to cobble a squad together at the last minute to try and save a few pennies, but the quality of those players still questionable for me. I'm not sure they'll do anything this year, to be honest, apart from be relegated and finish rock bottom in the Championship. Wolves are a team that I've liked for a long time, and I was pleased to see them come up from the Championship to the Championship because I thought they were by far and away the best League One team last year, and I thought they would always pose a few problems to quite a lot of teams in the Championship. To be honest, they've got every chance of doing that double promotion if they can get their form decent under Kenny Jackett, who I think is a good manager and won't let his side slack off against this Blackpool team. He'll want them to collect another 3 points. They're looking for their 4th win on the spin now. They won 3-1 in their last game against Blackburn, I think it was. Bakary Saka getting a couple and starting to show his quality again. Obviously, he's been with the club from the relegation to the Championship into League One and back up again. And I think he's a player of real quality. I was kind of surprised he didn't move on when Wolves were in the Championship. Maybe that is down to the amount of wages that he was on and the fact that he probably thought they'd go straight back up. But he's a constant danger driving from midfield and from set pieces as well. He's got 3 goals in 5 games now, and I think Wolves have just overall got far too much of Blackpool. I can't see how a team that are 5 defeats from 5 games in the Championship are going to keep out this Wolves side, to be honest, when they're looking to assert their dominance on the division. Wolves are 3-4 to win the game, but I'll take the even money that they score twice or more in this game. I think that's a great price. It's available in a few different places as well. I'm not sure what the thinking is behind having to score 2 or more goals. Perhaps it is the sense that Blackpool will shock someone eventually. Their performances haven't been awful. I just can't see them turning that around against Wolves. Maybe against a lesser side than Wolves, but certainly not turning their losing form around this weekend. So just to recap the 2 bets: Everton to score 2 or more at 11-10, and Wolves to score 2 or more at even money. Good luck, guys. Speak to you next week.